Hello students, today we will learn what is HTTP server, that is one, how it works, that is two, and then how to create HTTP server. So we will learn about three things here. So let's start it with what is a HTTP server. Actually, HTTP server is a network software tool that handles HTTP request and responses. Request will be from client side and responses will be given by server. So it actually enables communication between them. It is as it is enables communication between client and server. So it is very important component of your internet, because internet is also operates on the methodology of client and server. It is responsible for transferring web pages and other content client users based on HTTP network protocol rules. Based on HTTP protocol rules. So rules are to be followed whenever you are working with the HTTP server, and those rules are defined in HTTP protocol. So HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, is used to store, process, and transfer web pages on a network environment. HTTP is a application layer protocol. So keep in mind, application layer protocol. So means whatever you are doing, that will be absolutely based on the application rules, application layer of data transfer. I mean, everything will be at the level of software. So it is a network software tool. So that's why it will be working on application layer. Now, HTTP protocols are set of rules used for communication and transfer over internet to browsers. Browsers are your client machine. It is also used to run network applications with server capabilities. So it is required by nodejs for executing its program as network application with real-time controls and data transactions. So here examples we have HTTP server examples are Apache Tomcat, Apache HTTP server, and another one is Node.js also can be used to create your HTTP server. So Node.js uses it for running your network applications. So how HTTP works? HTTP server, the functioning of HTTP server starts with the client request. Number one. Second, once request is received, then it is processed by server and responded back to the client. After having processed, okay, then the response of server to client is in the form of web pages, HTML documents, and that can contain anything like text, audio, video, etc. Now, next thing comes out, how to create HTTP server. To create HTTP server, we have a module, that is HTTP module. So we have to import that module, and once we will import that module, then we can call it some method, that is create server, and to whichever client machine you want to communicate, because your client machine will become as a listener to this. So here we will be using two statements. One, you will be creating HTTP, you will be creating object of your HTTP module, that is first, and then second, you will be calling method of HTTP module, that is create server, and then you have to pass the object listener. So once you will pass the object listener, then you will be communicating to that client. So now write up how to create, write a program to create a HTTP server and test it. So now let us go to VS Code and let us try to make a program to create your HTTP server. So I'll go to my VS Code, and the VS Code I'll create a file. Say I'll create here my server 5 dot. I'll put it at server 5.5. I think already there. I'll put it at 6.js. And here what I have to do, what I'm doing actually, first of all, in my command I'll be writing my first HTTP server for nodejs. for nodejs, because nodejs uses your HTTP server. So first of all, here what you will have to do, you will have to create object of your HTTP server, HTTP module. So what you will do in that case, you will be creating object of variable, constant variable, and this variable is importing what? It is importing your HTTP module. So HTTP module has been imported, and then we can create a server variable, and we will be writing it as a server, and this variable create a server variable, and then that variable will be calling this module object, will be calling this object. I mean, this is an object actually here, and we are giving it name as HTTP. So HTTP, it will be calling which method? It will be calling, it's a create server method. Here we have got some methods for this create server, and in the create server you will have to give a request listener. So I'll give here RL, request listener is RL, and then next you can, once you have created this server with the create server method, and then you are using RL request listener, so you will have to create request listener, please. So for creating request listener, you will have to declare this variable as const RL, and here RL equal to, you will have to write here as a, you will have to create it as a function, and this function will be taking two things. One is a request and another one is a response. Request and another one is a response, two variable. And now after this you can write your content to this, because your server means, your servers means responding, your server is responding to client, and how much byte you want to write here, you can write here yeah, some bytes. How much byte you want to write here, you can use write head. For this you can use a method write head, and how much byte, I'll give 200 bytes I want to write here. And then in the response we can end this message that server has been, server is ready to accept client request. Server is saying that server is ready to accept the client request. So this message is going from the server to the client, and then you can, after this you can put it constant, please. Server should be as a constant, and then once you have done this, now server will be listening to client where, server will be listening to this client where it will be listening at port 8080, and once it has it is listening to client at port 8080, then you can convey a message to that console.log, and here you can convey that server is running, server is running, server is running. This is at the server side, please. This is at the server side, and that message, server ready to accept client request, it will be at the client side, this particular one. This will be conveyed to client. So now just save it and try to run it. Go to your terminal, and in the terminal you can type out node, and it is server 6.js. Just try to run it. I think you will get the, I will have to write node, run it, and server is running. This is at the server side. Now you will have to move to client to hear this, that client should know server ready to accept client request. So now you can go to your browser, and in your browser open it and type localhost, put here port number 8080 that you gave there, and enter it. You will get the message. So server ready to accept client request. So this way you can create your first HTTP server, and it now this is browser is your client and that was your server. So server and client both can communicate with each other. So thank you very much for seeing this.